Hours of Wednesday, September 10th, numerous Russian drones violated Polish airspace. NATO's air defenses were activated and successfully ensured the defense of NATO territory. Whilst this was the largest concentration of violations of NATO airspace that we have seen, what happened on Wednesday was not an isolated incident. Russia's recklessness in the air along our eastern flank is increasing in frequency. We have seen drones violate our airspace in Romania, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Whether intentional or not, it is dangerous and unacceptable.
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
This is my video update on this Friday afternoon, September the 12th, coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with something's a-cooking in Kiev. Something is a-cooking in Kiev, Ukraine, because over the past 24 hours, we have had Keith Kellogg show up to Kiev, Trump's neutral mediator, special envoy for the conflict in Ukraine, Mr. Keith Kellogg. He showed up in Kiev to meet with Zelensky. The president of Finland, Alexander Stubb, showed up to Kiev and he gave a press conference with Zelensky, and Alexander Stubb told the media that he spends more time with Zelensky than he does with his own wife. That is what Stubb said. A joke from the president of Finland. Mr. Stubb, I like spending time with you too. And you know who really likes spending time with you, Mr. Stubb? Podolyak. Podolyak really likes hanging out with you, right, Podolyak? Yes, Mr. President, I like spending time with Alexander Stubb. You see, Mr. Stubb, Podolyak likes you. So that was what Alexander Stubb said at the press conference. And then you had the foreign minister of Poland. Thank you, USA, for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. Radoslaw Sikorski. He showed up to Kiev, and on the same trip, on the same train with Thank you, USA Sikorski, was none other than making his first trip to Kiev, Ukraine. Uber alpha male, Prince Harry. That's right, Prince Harry. He showed up in Kiev for the first time. He made his way to Kiev, Ukraine, and Prince Harry, he claims that he went to Kiev in order to give support and help to injured soldiers. That is the purpose of his trip to Kiev, Ukraine. So obviously, something is about to go down. Something is being planned and plotted in Kiev, Ukraine, for all of these people to be getting the permission from Russia to get on the train, Russia guaranteeing safe passage from Poland to Kiev, to get on the train and travel all the way to Kiev in just the last 24 hours. Last week, you had the UK Defense Secretary, John Healey. He showed up in Kiev, and a few days later, we had this drone story pop up, right? So prepare for something to go down when it comes to Project Ukraine over the next couple of days or a couple of weeks. Back in the US, the foreign policy president of the United States of America, Mr. Lindsey Graham, he gave a press conference with his sidekick, Mr. Dick Blumenthal, Senator Dick Blumenthal. And instead of focusing on the United States of America, given the events that happened over the past day or two with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, instead of these U.S. senators focusing on their home states and on the United States of America during these difficult and tough times, they decided that it was appropriate to start talking about Project Ukraine. And Lindsey Graham and Dick Blumenthal, they brought with them some visual aids, a chart of the countries that have been designated as state sponsors of terrorism. And the list was Cuba, North Korea, Iran, and then there was a blank space on the bottom. And Lindsey Graham, he took out a Sharpie and he wrote in that blank space, Russia, right? Lindsey Graham wants the Trump administration and Congress to designate Russia as a state sponsor of terror. And Lindsey Graham said that if this is done, then it will make it very difficult for Russia and for Putin to do any trade or any business or any diplomacy for that matter. And that is the reason why he is pushing for this designation as a state sponsor of terror. He wants to sabotage any possibility for negotiations, diplomacy, dialogue with Russia. So that was Lindsey Graham and his sidekick, Dick Blumenthal. And Trump was asked about the decoy drone incident in Poland. And Trump's response to the media, as he was asked about decoy drones showing up in Poland or landing in Poland, however you want to look at it, Trump said it could have been a mistake.
What's your reaction to Russian drone incursion into Poland?
Could have been a mistake. Could have been a mistake, but regardless, I'm not happy about anything having to do with that whole situation. But hopefully it's going to come to an end.
That's what he said. He says, I don't like it. Everything that's going on in Ukraine, I don't like it. But it could have been a mistake. That is what Trump told the media, and everyone flipped out, right? All the warmongers and warhawks, they completely flipped out. Thank you, USA. Sikorsky posted on X that this was no mistake, Mr. President. No mistake. Thank you, USA, for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. Donald Tusk, he posted on X, we would also wish that the drone attack on Poland was a mistake, but it wasn't, and we know it. That is what Donald Tusk posted on X. We know it. If you know it, then provide us with the evidence, man. Right? Instead of posting pictures of drones with duct tape wrapped around them, right? Drones which have been placed on top of roofs of a barn, right? There's one drone that's sitting on top of a barn, or like a chicken hen house or something like that, and it's just sitting there intact, and it has duct tape like all around it. Okay, that was fired from Russia. It traveled 1,200 kilometers, and it just landed right there, right there with duct tape on it, because that's how Russia rolls with their drones, right? Their drones, their decoy drones, they have duct tape wrapped around them. Podolyak, give me the duct tape. I wrap it around the drone, and then we fire into Poland, and then we start World War III. Mr. President, it's duct tape, not duck tape. What you mean, Podolyak? Duct tape, quack, quack. Duct tape, Podolyak. Okay, Mr. President, duct tape. Oh, man. So anyway, Tusk is saying that this was no mistake to U.S. President Trump. Donald Tusk. So Der Spiegel, their magazine cover, has an evil Putin holding up one of these decoy drones with duct tape, holding up one of these decoy drones, a menacing Vladimir Putin. Article 4, Article 5, what are we going to do? He is testing NATO. He is testing NATO's defenses. He is provoking NATO and the collective West. Daddy Trump, please do something, Daddy. Trump is not buying any of it, man. He is not buying any of it. His response, it was probably a mistake. Oh, man. When is Trump going to finally say, you know, I'm just sick of these Europeans, man. I'm tired of them. Tired. Stop bothering me, man. I've got so many things that I need to take care of. Stop bothering me with your nonsense. I'm not interested in going to war with Russia. Then again, Kellogg did show up in Kiev, so who knows? The U.S. may be plotting something. Where Ukraine launched 220 plus drones into Russia yesterday, a massive drone strike into Russia. It actually shut down many airports in Russia, and one of the cities that the drones were attacking was St. Petersburg, and the airport in St. Petersburg shut down for a period of time, and you had 80 flights that were delayed or canceled in the St. Petersburg airport. So Ukraine launched a big attack into Russia yesterday, a big drone attack into Russia yesterday, and these weren't decoy drones. These were drones meant to do damage inside of Russia. So what's next? Big story, sanctions relief for Belarus. Very big story, getting very little media coverage. Lukashenko, he met with U.S. officials and announced that he's going to be releasing 52 political prisoners. And in exchange for releasing the 52 political prisoners, Belarus was getting some sanctions relief from the United States of America. And even the national air carrier, Belavia, is going to be getting sanctions lifted. And this may mean that you could get flights from Minsk, from Belarus to the United States, though I'm not sure if Belarus ever operated flights to the United States. But one thing that you are going to get in connection with the partial lifting of sanctions on Belavia, the national airline, is that they'll have access to parts and stuff like that for their planes. So this is big news, very big news. Now this could be either one of two things. Either this is a sign from the Trump administration that he would like to do the same thing with Russia, right? So you're normalizing relations with Belarus, and that's what's going on here. You are normalizing relations between the United States and Belarus. So far, Europe hasn't made any moves like the U.S. when it comes to Belarus. But the United States is normalizing relations. And so maybe you're signaling to Russia that you would like to normalize relations with Russia as well. Or this is some sort of a trick or a trap, right? You get Belarus to ease up, to put down its guard, to relax, and to believe that it's going to make friends with the United States and with the Trump administration, and then you launch some sort of operation against Belarus or into Belarus or against Lukashenko or something like that, which is what the White House has been doing very often. So this could be a trap to get Belarus to relax, to get Lukashenko to relax and to believe that the United States can be trusted and that he's going to normalize relations with the Trump administration, and then they launch something against Lukashenko. Or this could be the real deal, and the Trump administration does want to normalize relations with Belarus and is also using this normalization of relations with Belarus to signal to Russia that we would also like to normalize relations with you as well in the same way that we're doing with Belarus. So it's either option one or option two. Which one do you think it is? So the United States is urging the G7 countries, according to the Financial Times, to impose high tariffs on China and India over Russian oil purchases. So the Trump administration, they want the Europeans to place tariffs on India and China, and they're using the excuse of Russian oil, but effectively they want the European countries, the EU, the G7 countries to cut off all trade with China and India, and to make all of their purchases, their energy purchases, from the United States. And this is what they're pressuring the Europeans to do. And the Europeans, what they're telling the Trump White House is, you place sanctions on Russia, direct sanctions on Russia. You provide security guarantees to Ukraine, and then, and only then, will we go ahead and place tariffs on China and India. Right? There's an article in Politico which claims that the United States and Europe and the G7 EU, they're aligned in their position that they need to punish Russia and to force Putin to the negotiating table, according to sources familiar with the matter. So they're aligned in their position, but they differ in how to get there. The United States wants Europe to place tariffs and to cut off China and India. The Europeans are telling the United States that this would be very damaging to their economies. And so they're telling the United States, what we will do this if you place direct sanctions on Russia and provide security guarantees to Ukraine first. So that's where they are on this matter. And now we can do an update on what is going on with the Charlie Kirk assassination. So the FBI, they gave a press conference yesterday. It was not much of a press conference. Not much information was relayed to the public. Not much confidence in Kash Patel, to be quite honest, and the FBI as they were giving this press conference. The assassin is still, at the time of recording this video, is still at large, but they did share one video and one photo. And the video that they shared was of a man running on the roof of the building that allegedly was used to fire the shot that killed Charlie Kirk. And they show the man running on the roof and then jumping down from the roof and making his way into the streets and the neighborhood in Utah. And then they shared a photo of a person of interest. That photo has been shared. And the FBI is basically telling the internet if they can help identify this person. That's where we are with the update, to be quite honest. There are a lot of reports that the weapon has been found. I believe this is confirmed, but there's also a lot of news which I don't think is too reliable. So I'm not going to get into it, because there are a lot of stories floating out there about the weapon, the gun, inscriptions and stuff like that. I don't think that's legit, but I do believe that they have allegedly found the weapon that was used. That, I think, is confirmed. So what we can confirm is the video that they put out there of the man running on the roof. the photo of the person of interest, the fact that the FBI, at least at the time of recording this video, has not caught this this assassin, and they're seeking help from the internet with regards to the photo of this this person of interest. That is what we know. That is what is confirmed, at least. And so it's been well over 24 hours, hasn't it? And they still have not made much headway as to what is going on with this assassination, or who is the assassin, or if they're getting close to catching the assassin. That's why I said there seems to be a lack of confidence in Kash Patel for the moment. So Lutnick, he was speaking to CNBC, and he went off on India again. Mr. Lutnick, he said that the United States will conclude a trade deal with India, and it's going to be all good and well, but first India has to stop refining Russian oil. That's his demand of India. Stop refining Russian oil, and then we'll close out a trade deal. So we're back there again, right? They're just not giving up. Lutnick Navarro, they're not letting it go.
Well, we're going to sort out India. You know, India basically has to open their market, has to stop buying Russian oil. You know, people don't remember, India didn't buy Russian oil before the war with Russia and Ukraine. They had 1% of their oil was from Russia. And now 40% of their oil is from Russia because we've sanctioned it so they can buy it, $7, $10 a barrel cheap. So they're buying it, refining it, and then selling it to the rest of the world and making a bundle. So the president called nonsense on that and said, you got to stop that stuff. So I think India will sort it out once they stop buying Russian oil.
So that's what he said to CNBC. The UK, they have fired their ambassador to the United States, Mr. Peter Mandelson. Is that the dude's name? Looks like he's been canned because it has been found out that he was buddies with none other than Epstein. Go figure, man. That's right. He wrote in Epstein's birthday book. He wrote a message and drew a picture that was in Epstein's birthday book. And then some emails were discovered. Mandelson, yeah. Some emails were discovered where he is talking very, very highly of Epstein. 1 second. I think I have some quotes from the emails that were uncovered from the UK ambassador, was the UK ambassador to the United States, Mr. Peter Mandelson. Do I have some quotes? No, I thought I had some quotes. I guess I don't. I have an article bookmarked from Bloomberg which says that the IMF sees up to $20 billion hole in Ukraine funding through 2027. Yeah, Ukraine said it needs $37 billion, either over 2 years. I think it said $37 billion over 2 years, 2026 and 2027, or it's 36 billion, 37 billion each year. Anyway, they're asking for a ton of money, and the IMF in their research, they uncovered that it's not 37 billion, it's actually 57 billion. It's about 20 billion more that Ukraine needs from the collective West. So more money to Zelensky, huh? Man, I thought I bookmarked Mandelson's quotes. He talked a lot about Epstein. He said a whole lot of good stuff about Epstein, Mr. Mandelson, the one-time ambassador. The New York Times says, breaking, Peter Mandelson, the British ambassador to Washington, was fired after emails reveal his close ties to Epstein. He apologized, by the way, Mandelson. He apologized for the nice words he wrote to Epstein at the time. Oh, here we go. I found it. Let's see here. The emails show that the depth and extent of Peter Mandelson's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein is materially different from that known at the time of his appointment. The Foreign Office said, adding that Mandelson's suggestion that Jeffrey Epstein's first conviction was wrongful and should be challenged is new information. And then in one of the emails and letters, it said that Mandelson described Epstein as his best pal and portrays him as an intelligent, sharp-witted, and mysterious man. So one final news topic, and then we'll get into a clown world. Bolsonaro of Brazil was found guilty by the Supreme Court of trying to overthrow the government. I believe the sentence is 27 years in prison, found guilty for an attempted coup. And he can appeal this decision. Bolsonaro and other defendants have denied wrongdoing, and defense lawyers could still file appeals. By the way, the Trump administration, they placed 50% tariffs on Brazil because of this court case against Bolsonaro. So let's do some clown worlds and we can wrap this video up. And we'll start off with Annalena 360, who gave her first press conference as the president of the United Nations General Assembly. And a reporter asked Annalena about her speech where she's okay with what Israel is doing in Gaza. She actually encouraged it in her speech, and we've all heard that speech from Annalena at the German parliament when she was foreign minister for Germany.
Abdelhamid Sayyam from the Arabic Daily Al-Quds Al-Arabi. Madam President, do you distance yourself from the statement you gave when you were foreign minister of Germany, when you condone Israel attacking civilian property, civilian hospitals, civilian schools? Do you distance yourself from that statement? Thank you.
Well, first of all, I would like to ask you, also know here that you cite correctly. There's no quotation at all from myself, not in my former part, not today. Today, I'm speaking as the President of the UN General Assembly and representing 193 member states. But again, this quote is not a quote I ever gave.
Deswegen habe ich vor den Vereinten Nationen deutlich gemacht, dann können auch zivile Orte ihren Schutzstatus verlieren, weil Terroristen das missbrauchen. Dazu steht Deutschland und das bedeutet für uns Sicherheit. Israels.
The reporter asked her, do you take back what you said at the parliament? And Annalena's response to the reporter was, I never said that. Forgetting that we have something called the internet. Annalena Baerbock, yeah, you should try it sometime. It's something called the internet. And that speech is all over the internet and all over social media. But Annalena's response to the reporter was, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I never said those words. I never gave that speech. It wasn't me. I am now the president of the UN General Assembly. So take that. I'm the president of the UN General Assembly. That was her response to the reporter's question. By the way, it is being reported in German media that Annalena has been given a column in the New York Times. You see, she's being rewarded for a job well done in wrecking Europe, in wrecking Germany, and in wrecking Ukraine. The trifecta from the one-time foreign minister of Germany. And she is getting rewarded. And this time she has been given a column in the New York Times, where she's going to be a contributor to a column in the New York Times, according to German media. And what is Annalena going to write about? She is going to write about the remilitarization of Europe, right? That's going to be what her column is going to focus on. Annalena Baerbock, everybody. And finally, we have some news on stunning and brave Kaja Kallas, who said in an interview the other day that the conflict in Ukraine is going to last for at least another 2 years. That is what Kaja Kallas said. And then she started to blame Russia for the drones that landed in Poland and stuff like that. So that's Kaja Kallas. That's the video, everybody. theduran.locals.com. We're on X, we're on Telegram and Rumble. And go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch, like what I'm wearing in this video update. There is a link in the description box down below. Take care.